Hi folks, I'm Max from GalaxyNote3root.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make a backup of ROM and also restore your ROM. Now before we begin, you'll need the latest Clockwork recovery that supports it. If you've rooted your phone using my methods at GalaxyNote3root.com, and if you installed one of the earlier versions of Clockwork recovery, I'll have a link to it, but go ahead and update to the latest version. And also you can check the page GalaxyNote3root.com at the top. There should be a link to clockworkmod/twerp recoveries. Go there and check if there's a new version that supports Clockwork recovery restore. Now the newer versions support restore. Some of the versions still need to be updated, but most of the new versions support restore. So if you're still on the older version, just go ahead and download the latest version and flash it with Odin. Alright? And once you've done that, let's go ahead and do this. So I'm going to go ahead and make a backup. Turn your phone off, and then let's go ahead and hold down volume up, center home, and the power. Volume up, center home, and the power button. 1, 2, 3. Alright, and it should say recovery booting up here. And I'm showing you this with an SMN9005 here. And I got the Clockwork recovery. 6.0.44, that's the version that you want. That's going to support restore. Backing up, it doesn't matter. You can use any version. Go ahead and go to backup and restore. You can either back up to your internal storage. If you want that, choose /SD card. If you want to back it up to your micro SD, choose the external SD. So I'm going to go ahead and back up my current ROM to the /SD card. And I'm going to go ahead and choose backup. And this will back up everything, and should take about 5 to 10 minutes. So I will be back when this is done. Or actually, you know what? Let me see if I can leave this on. I need some kind of stand here. Let me see if I can use my wallet. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this so you can see it. Oops. Will that stay? Perfect. And I will be back. I'm going to fast forward this. Hi folks, so it is done, and when you make a backup, it will store it under as your current timestamp. So let's say you've messed up your phone somehow, and something went wrong. Then you can always boot into Clockwork recovery, like I showed you, power off, and then volume up, center home, and the power button. And then you get here, and you can go ahead and go to backup and restore, and you can choose restore from SD card if you did it to your internal. Also, you can choose restore from external SD if you did it from your micro SD. So I'm going to choose restore from /SD card. And as you can see, sometimes the date can get a little funky with Clockwork recovery. But basically, the first one, the 1970, is actually my first stock backup. Second one is backup of X-Note ROM, I think. No, it's a custom ROM. And the third one is the same one. But I'm going to go ahead and restore my stock ROM, the original ROM that came with the phone. And I'm going to go ahead and restore. And that's all you have to do. When you're restoring, you don't have to do wipe data factory reset, because it actually restores all of that, the cache, the everything. So you do not have to mess with it. Just hit restore and you're done. And it is now checking the MD5 sum, and it will restore. Now, one note about these backups, they can become very large. They can be averaged near 1 to 2 gigabytes each. So I highly suggest using a micro SD card, insert it, and back it up there. And it's also nice because it's separate from the system. Sometimes you have to unroot your phone. It's always in your micro SD card, so you can also you can move it to another Note 3 if you need to. So it's a great way, and also you can copy the folder, the whole folder, Clockwork Mod folder. There's a folder that's created either in your internal storage or micro SD card. You can go ahead and connect it to your computer as a disk drive and copy it over to your computer, and then it won't take up space in your internal or micro SD. And then copy it back into the exact same folder when you need to restore it. Now with the newer Clockwork recovery, you can't just copy the one of the folders. You have to copy every backup into your computer. because the latest Clockwork Mod recovery uses these things called blobs. So if you make multiple backups, it's not gonna use a lot of space. So when you copy it to your computer, make sure you copy the whole folder called Clockwork Mod with all of your backups, because they're all together. So if you want to get rid of one of the folders, just erase one of the backup folders with the timestamp or whatever, and then reboot into Clockwork Mod recovery. And there's an option, free unused backup data. Make sure you do that, and then it will delete the blobs that were, taking up space with whatever folder you erased. You'll get it. So that's one note I can tell you. Let me go ahead and hit back and reboot system. Make sure you choose no. This is for older Android, like 4.1.2. With the latest 4.3, if you choose yes there, it's gonna get rid of root actually. So don't choose yes, choose no. And there we go. So you'll see that I didn't get that kernel thing. When you boot a custom ROM, you get a little kernel thing that you have a custom kernel. And as you can see, instantly I've got my stock ROM back, and this is exactly how it was. All my apps, all my settings, all back to stock. I'm gonna go ahead and actually go ahead and restore that back to my custom ROM, because I don't like stock ROMs that much. Anyway, that's how you can back up and restore using Clockwork Mod recovery. You can also do it using twerp recovery. It is nearly identical, the steps. The menus just look different. But perhaps I'll have another video using twerp soon. And also, Clockwork Mod recovery backups and twerp recovery backups are not compatible. So when you start using one, just use Clockwork Mod recovery or twerp, all the way through. That way you don't have to worry about compatibility issues. Or what you can do is, if you have a backup of Clockwork Mod recovery, but you want to use twerp, go ahead and use twerp. But when you need to restore your ROM that's backed up with Clockwork Mod recovery, simply reinstall Clockwork Mod recovery. And later down the line, you should be able to easily switch to install Clockwork Mod recovery. You can usually use ROM Manager, and also to install twerp recovery, you can use Goo Manager app from the Play Store. Usually that will set in place about a month after the phone launches, and it's been only few weeks now. So anytime now, you should be able to also use twerp or Clockwork Mod recovery apps, ROM Manager apps, to actually flash them without using Odin. So anyway, that's how you can back up and restore your data on the Galaxy Note 3, a rooted Galaxy Note 3. And also, currently there's no Clockwork Mod recovery or twerp recovery for phones like Verizon or AT&T Note 3, because the bootloader is locked, but there will be a way soon. Perhaps by the time you see this video, there may be one. Just check my site, galaxynote3root.com. Anyway, thanks guys for watching this video. I know it's got kind of long, but if you like this video, if this video has helped you, don't forget to hit that like button here, subscribe button down there, or wherever it is. And don't forget to subscribe to my email list at galaxynote3root.com. We update you once a week with ROM of the Week tips, hacks, and more. And I will see you guys soon. Now stay high on Android.